Hello, my name is Meiju. Welcome to watch my tutorial on basics of brioche knitting. First, brioche stitch is a stitch pattern that creates a really lofty fabric and you can use it for almost any kinds of yarns or any kinds of with any kinds of needle sizes. I have used here fingering weight yarn held together with alpaca mohair, that is really fluffy yarn. So basically I have knit this fabric with much larger needle size that usually, but it still creates really nice light lofty fabric. If you use a bulkier yarn and smaller needles, you can more control its give. It doesn't stretch that much and you can get a tighter gauge in that way. So first I'm going to talk about how to measure gauge of brioche knitting, and then we are going to talk about how the brioche fabric is created. So basically in brioche knitting you will have more rows than in for example stockinette stitch, and less stitches than in stockinette stitch. So basically you have less stitches, for example on in 10 centimeters or 4 inches than in stockinette stitch. Then brioche knitting stitch is created in a repetition of 2 rows. So basically you will get one stitch looking like this with 2 rows. This garment is knit from the top down, so actually we should look at the garment this way, so you will get the better idea how the brioche stitch looks like. So now we will measure gauge. This is wet blocked garment, so I always recommend that you first wet block your garment before measuring the gauge, since brioche knitting will grow even more after soaking and blocking the garment than stockinette stitch would do. So as you can see, I have stitch columns here. So this is one stitch column, this is the other, the purl column, knit column, purl column. Almost like in ribbing, but in brioche stitch. So when I start to measure in the gauge, I will put the start of my measurement between the purl column that I have here. So then I can count my first stitch from here. Then because I'm European knitter, I usually measure with centimeters, which is roughly 4 inches. If I turn my measurer here, it's 4 inches here. So now I can count my stitches. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, roughly 12 stitches in 10 centimeters or in 4 inches. Okay, then we are measuring the row gauge. So, as I said in the beginning, the brioche stitch is created by repetition of 2 rows, and basically you will have more rows than in normal stockinette stitch. So the paired yarn over with the knit stitch, which I'm going to show you later, will make 2 rows. So if I'm counting only these rows that are looking like, for example, in a ribbing or in a stockinette stitch, that makes that I don't get the correct number for my rows that I should have in brioche gauge. So basically I can count my row gauge like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16. So 16 stitches on 10 centimeters, but you have to multiply this by with 2, which makes that you actually have 32 rows per 10 centimeter or 4 inches. So basically, since we have 2 rows repetition to get 1 stitch looking like this, it means that this has 32 rows in 10 centimeter or 4 inches. That's how we measure brioche gauge. I'm going to show you how to knit brioche stitch. So basically, I have made a little swatch here, and I'm going to show you how to make the basic brioche stitch looking like this, knit flat. So first I'm going to make a slip stitch edge here, same as here. I'm knitting the first stitch, normally knit, then I'm slipping the purl stitch with yarn in front, then I knit the next stitch. Then we are starting the brioche stitch. Now I have purl stitch here, it could be knit stitch too, and the first stitch, if you start the brioche knitting with ribbing or for example stockinette stitch, there is slightly different than the repetition after that. So when working flat, you will always make a yarn over and slip the purl stitch, and this paired stitch is counted as 1 in brioche stitch. So you don't count these 1, 2, but this is paired stitch, you will count it as 1. Then on this row you knit the knit stitches. Yarn over, slip. Knit on the first row. Yarn over, slip. Yarn over, slip and knit. Yarn over, slip. Knit, yarn over, slip, knit, yarn over and knit. Now I'm at the end of this work, and I now have purl, knit, purl, and I'm doing the similar slip stitch edge as I did in the beginning. So I'm slipping the yarn in front, knitting, slipping the purl stitch with yarn in front. So I have 3 edge stitches, and now I'm starting to brioche pattern. The first row that I just did was the setup row. So basically it's the same whenever you start the brioche as flat, and you will always work, when you work brioche stitch flats, the both rows as the same. A knit one, slip the yarn in front, knit one, and now starts the brioche repetition. So you will again, to purl stitches, you will yarn over, slip. Then, as you have the pair stitch that you did on the last row, then comes the brioche knit. So you will knit the stitch and the paired yarn over together. This is a brioche knit. Slip, yarn over, slip, brioche knit. 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 And now you have 3 stitches at the end. And then you do the slip stitch edge. Slip the purl stitch with yarn in front, knit, slip the purl stitch with yarn in front. And then on the other side you will knit, slip the purl stitch with yarn in front, knit. And then start the brioche repetition as you did it on the last row. So yarn over, slip, brioche knit. 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 And then the edge. Okay, I'm going to make a few more rows so you will see how the brioche stitch grows, but it's this easy. Always yarn over, slip, brioche knit when you are working flat. Okay, now you are already starting to see the brioche, so it's much more loftier than the ribbing, and it looks the same on both sides, and the repetition is the same on both sides. Yarn over, slip, brioche knit, and you can easily base it, for example, on ribbing, but you can start it with the stockinette stitch too. Thank you for watching. Please watch my tutorial also on brioche knitting in the round. Thank you for watching. Bye.